guys, Submoto here. So I'm still in Copenhagen. I still haven't found a place in Berlin, which is a pain after the whole scam issue. Like, I got an apartment and it turned out to be a scam. Didn't lose any money, but I'm still on the hunt for a place to live in Berlin, so I'm still here. So I figured, hey, why not try and fix this bike up, since I'm going to be riding her to Berlin, not like for longer distances back and forth. And for that, I would like to have an engine that is absolutely reliable. So, as you can see, there's some oil that's been spilling a bit. There's some of the gaskets that aren't, I guess, aren't as good as they used to be. And also, she's burning oil. Not too bad, but I do have to fill her up with oil every now and then. And when I gas up, like, you can't tell, you can't smell it. It's really minimal, but it's enough for the oil level to fall. And that's just not something I want to ride long distances with. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking out the engine. And this is really scary for me because I've never done this before. I got my Haynes manual in my bag, and Johnny is going to let me use his place to work on the bike. So I'm going to ride down there now, and we're going to take off the engine, and eventually we're going to open up the engine. I'm not going to open the engine alone, I don't think. I don't really think I dare to do that without somebody helping me. So, like, Alexander's done this on his bike a couple of times. And I know Johnny's taking the engine off of his bike as well. So I'm not gonna start taking the engine apart without help. But I will take the engine out. Apparently the engine is not heavy, so it's quite easy to do on your own. So this is kind of scary. I've never done it before, like I said, but we're gonna see what happens and how that works out. So and then hopefully we can eventually hone the cylinder and switch out the piston rings and the gaskets inside and everything, and hopefully that will prevent it from burning oil. Okay, so we made it, and now we're gonna pull the bike in. Cool thing about this bike and any SR500 is that if you can't get through tight spots, just pick it up. That's one of the reasons I'm never going to get a bike that's heavier than this. Okay, so first things first with this bike. Like I said, I'm not really sure how to go about it. So I brought my Haynes manual. So I'm going to be following the Haynes manual step by step. But one thing I do know before I even need to look in the manual is I got to drain the oil. So I have another video on that. I'll put a link in the description so that we don't waste time on how to drain oil from a bike. It's this exact bike. I've done it before. There's a different video. So if you want to see how that's done, then just look up that video. Okay, so I drained the oil. I only had 1.5 liters in there, and it takes 2.2, so it's been burning oil. Okay, so I'm gonna go check out the manual. Removing the engine gear. Let me just read through this, and I'll get back to you. Okay, that was easy. I'm just kidding. I just got through the blurb. I guess it's pretty logical. Let me just bring my my notes with me. So the first thing that they say to remove is going to be this plate cover right here and the exhaust, which makes sense. Okay, so this plate cover right here, I was like, well, why do I have to remove that? That doesn't make sense. But apparently, it looks like there may be an oil feed line right behind this. Okay, yep, that's right. I don't know if you can see that, but there's an oil feed line here. So that's why we have to take this off. It makes sense. This is totally full of oil, so that's not good. Yeah, so the next thing is the exhaust, and I think I even have a video on how I did that once, but anyway, pretty straightforward. There's a bolt there and a bolt and two bolts, one on each side here. Easy as hell. This tool won't do the job though. And once I get this off the exhaust, I might as well paint it. again, because the paint's done quite well actually, but it does get kind of gray, and I guess it's a process of having to paint it every 6 months or something, or every 3 or 4 months depending how much you ride. So, and the pipe's starting to get splotchy again, so I'll probably go ahead and paint that while I'm at it. So that should just come right off. There it goes. Piece of cake. So that's a decompression cable, and that's off now. It was right there, so who cares? Okay, I got the exhaust and the sump guard. Now we did the decompression cable, so we might as well do the clutch cable as well. That way we can get cables out of the way. This is going to be different on different bikes. On the SR500 it's quite easy because it's external and you can actually take the wire off. There's just this rubber thing you need to get off first. This is so corroded that it's fallen apart into a million pieces, but I'm just going to kind of leave it here, and that way I can put it back together. But yeah, so this is quite easy. I mean, all you do is do that and then just kind of push that forward, and the cable will come off, which is quite easy. But on other bikes, I've seen that sometimes you have to, I mean, I'm going to have to remove this anyway, but they want you to kind of take the whole cover assembly, because the snail will be in the cover like it was on my GS550. So basically you take the cover off and then just kind of leave the whole cover dangling. That way you won't have to disassemble the actual snail assembly in it, or whatever it's called. But yeah, so and on this bike it's quite easy. I don't have to do that. It's just a wire. So just yet another reason to get an SR500, really. So yeah, so that's cables, and we'll check off. And all right, so it says carb and tank. The carb is easy as hell to get off. So okay, so for the carb, now I have a different carb on this bike. I have a TM36 carb. Your petcock needs to be on. The reason for that is because you have a vacuum hose, and what that does is every time, if it's on your petcock, the vacuum hose will ensure that it only sucks out gas, fuel from your tank when the engine is running. And I know that my petcock is not fully functional, so it kind of still drips a bit. Oh, it's not too bad. Even when you do take, I mean, it might drip a bit, so I'll just pour out the excess gas here. And that's the vacuum hose right here I'm pulling off. There's nothing in that, it's just air, I guess, or a vacuum. Alright, so I'm going to turn the accelerator on the carb, which will make the cable longer, and that way I can just do this manually. So I got the cable off of the carburetor. That was easy, right there. And again, it's probably not as easy on a stock. I know it's not as easy on a stock carb. It is on a TM36, so I can definitely recommend, if you're going to get this bike, to invest in a TM36 carb, because it'll be easier to work on and it'll be able to do more fun shit in the end. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this zip tie. So there's just like a screw that holds on the carburetor like that, and this is the cool thing about cleaning up underneath your air filter, or using a different air filter, is look at this. See how easy that just comes out? That's how you get the carb out. I mean, it literally takes like 5 minutes. That's what she said. Definitely something I can recommend. Okay, so I got the carb out, and that's the cable, so I can right, check that off the list. Carb. Screw the tank. Cables, got all the cables, also for the carb. Levers or levers, or whatever you want to call them, and footrest. All right, so it said something about removing the footrest and the brake, and I guess that makes sense, because obviously how am I going to get the engine out if I have these things in the way? So so this definitely needs to go, this one and that one. Okay, so I ended up having to take all the levers off, or even the foot peg, because I couldn't get to the lever, whatever. without taking off the foot peg. So grab my keys there, dumbass. So yeah. So next thing, what is the next thing to do? Let's see. Footrest. There we go. Right, sprocket and chain. Stator wires. It's going to be kind of the same operation. Okay, so, and then the oil. I'm going to take the oil feed lines at the end because I have no idea how to do that. So with the sprocket and chain, so obviously for me to be able to remove the engine, I'm going to have to take off the chain, because the chain is connected to the wheel. So what they say is that they want me to loosen the sprocket so I can just take off the chain. Alright, so first things first, take off the side covers. Oh, there's my old friend. So I got all my cables marked with the numbers, because they're all like, I had like an extension and they're all like the same color on one end, so I just had to do that, and it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so in normal circumstances you'd probably have like a little connector and you just take that off, but since I had to make the extension, that's not as easy as it could have been. Oh well. So yeah, so the next thing is the chain. Okay, that's turning it around. I guess that was quite easy, actually. Great. Okay, so the chain is loose. So that was stator and wires and sprocket and chain. Oh gosh, now we got the oil feed line and the return hose. There we go. Detach the oil feed hose from the left-hand side of the engine. Left-hand side of the engine? What the oh, that's what they're talking about. That's the one right there. And that goes right there. Okay, that makes more sense. Disconnect the oil feed pipe. Maybe that's what they call the oil feed line, but that's in the center of the bike. I have no idea. I'm gonna use the force. Let's see. The force is telling me to find my tools. What shall I use? I think I'll use this. Oh, the other way. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. So lefty, wait, no, so that goes that way.
2,000 years later.
Lefty, loosey. Oh, there comes the oil. I did it! Okay, so that was one, but then they said something about the left side of the engine. Okay, so I'm guessing this is what they were talking about. Nevertheless, it makes sense to get this off. There it goes. Nice. Okay. Put things back. Okay, so everything's off and loose and nothing's attached. What's this? That's nothing. Okay, so I'm wondering if I'm going to have problems now that I've decided not to take off the tank. Oh, damn it. I'll just take off the tank. Fuck it. Okay. Well, I guess to take the tank off first, I'm going to have to take off the seat. So, and the tank. Here goes. I don't know what all the fuss was about. That was pretty easy. Well, we're getting there. This is it. This is the big moment. So I think it's ready to for the main bolts to get to come off. And I think I'm going to start with the from the top to the bottom. I'm thinking that's probably the most logical way to go. Yeah, I couldn't have gotten to this at all without taking the tank off. That's for sure. So next, I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Okay, so that plate came right off there. I wish there were a better description of, like in the manual, of how many bolts are actually holding it. Okay. I heard something fall. Yeah. I think maybe I should have taken the bottom bolts off first. This can't be good for the bolt. And then this one could have kind of held it up. I'll remember that next time. Got it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say anything that I could find in the manual about what to take off first. Like what bolts to go for first, but definitely leave that top bolt on so it kind of picks up, like lifts the engine, so you can take all the bolts out and then you take that in the end. I think that would make the most sense. Okay, I think it's loose, so now I'm going to try and wiggle the engine off. There we go. That's the top bracket. Okay, see if Johnny was right. Ugh, I freaking got it. Holy crap. All by myself. All by my lonesome. Damn thing's not even that heavy. I think I'm gonna put it over here. Holy crap. Can you believe that? Oh, I freaking removed an engine from a motorcycle. So that'll be enough for today. And next time, which hopefully will be in a few days, I'll get one of the guys to help me, and we'll open up the engine and see what it looks like, and you know, change all the gaskets, which is the main reason I got it off, and change all the gaskets, put some new liquid gasket on there. That'll be next time, and it'll be a really, really cool learning process for me. I didn't really believe myself when I said that I was going to take the engine off just like that, but I guess I did. And it says in the manual it's a 1 hour job. It wasn't for me, but it could be, I guess, if you've done it a few times. So yeah. So I hope you learned something. I did. I learned something. If you do have any comments, any suggestions on how to do it, you know, experience or whatever, like I said, we're in this together. I'm learning stuff all the time. So please let me know if there is anything. That way maybe I'll try and remember that for next time. But so far so good. So anyway, that's enough for today. So remember to subscribe and ride, if your engine's in your frame, that is. And I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye. I wonder what the hell this is.